what this suggests is that there's a smaller market for luxury goods here in Canada. So what that means for us is that there's a smaller market capitalization that we can take a bite out of initially. So something to keep in mind is that our numbers, our revenue figures, may not exactly match the levels experienced in the States. Lastly, HBC plans on maintaining the same level of advertising expense despite planning multiple expansions of their price banners. And what this means is that it may prevent HBC from reaching the extent of its success because the level of advertising is static and it may not be enough to keep up with the planned expansions. Now that I've talked a little bit more about the weaknesses, let's move on to the opportunities, which are very abundant. So within each strength lies an opportunity. So as mentioned in the information provided to us, there has been an increased online shopping trend upwards of 11% in Canada. So this is a huge opportunity for boosting sales and also creating that new revenue generation channel. Additionally, due to an increased trend in Canadian consumers using apps for purchases, there's another opportunity to work on customer mobile experience and to augment sales through that segment as well. Moreover, although as mentioned previously, the luxury segment in Canada is small, it is growing. And the lack of competitive landscape that we have here in Canada when compared to other countries such as the United States provides a lot of room for HBC to capitalize with their own luxury brands, which I may point out are already very developed because they have already been successful in the United States. Lastly, opportunity lies in digital marketing where customer relations can be cultivated through experience personalization. And what I mean by that is that the opportunity lies where we can make advertisements more target specific. So for example, targeting young women working downtown. And the reason why I chose that population is because those young women working downtown tend to have a taste for higher end classy apparel. So now I'd like to pass it on to Sue, who's going to be talking about the threats that digital group faces.
So there are many threats associated with HBC as well. One of them is basically the potential for technology failure. Since HBC is going into the online market, there is a high possibility for HBC to have technological problems, perhaps through online purchases or something through their website, which can potentially ruin the reputation of HBC. Second is that since Saks Group is now working with HBC, some of the loyal customers of HBC might be unhappy. Can you imagine? Imagine yourself shopping at a store that you've always been shopped for as long as you can remember, your grandparents, your parents, and all of a sudden to work with a US company. How would you feel? Some people might feel betrayed or unhappy, which can potentially lose some of the HBC loyal customers. After that, since we're spending $45 million on basically all of these expenses and our budget, there's a high possibility of uncertain return that can occur because this is a huge risk we're taking. And we're not quite sure or guarantee that we're going to have an increase in revenue or an increase in performance. So we have to consider this as a possible threat as well. And then last but not least, there may also be some costs that can occur if this endeavor is unsuccessful. Because currently, as of yesterday, our current share price of HBC is $26, and it's been growing for the past year based on the Globe and Mail. And then because of that, because we're taking this new risk, there's a high possibility for our share price to drop, which can result in unsuccessful shareholders, which can potentially affect the reputation and the overall image of our company. So now I'm going to pass it down to Peggy, who will talk about the budget for 2015.
Okay, so moving on to 2015, we have a total budget of $45 million. And when calculating the budget, we are mostly concerned about the following ongoing costs. So the annual salaries for experts and internal transferred employees will experience a 2% increase from last year. And the total salaries for external hires are expected to be $450,000. And advertising and administration expenses are expected to remain the same from last year. And the annual rent for the leased space is expected to have a 2% increase as well. So summing up of all of these expenses gave us a total ongoing operation expenses of around $11.8 million, which leaves us with the remaining budget of $33 million, roughly 73% of the total budget for other spending and investment. So based on our result of the SWOT analysis, we believe that with this much available capital on hand, there are great opportunities and potential for HBC Digital Group to grow and improve the company's digital services. So next, I will pass on to Michelle and Justin, who will be discussing about the suggestions for the two main focuses in 2015.
Thank you, Peggy. So we decided to focus our areas of development for 2015 on the analysis of our SWOT, the results of our SWOT analysis. So upon further examination of the results, we noticed that our strengths tend to congregate around digital commerce. So thus, we chose to spend 68% of our remaining budget on customer relationship development with a focus on improving the online experience. So first, we would like to augment our online and mobile presence by utilizing a specialized marketing campaign. So possible projects would be social media marketing, targeting specific groups of people, as I mentioned before, for example, young women working in downtown Toronto. And also we would like to improve our efficiency as well through testing to make our websites and our apps more user-friendly and more personalized too. So because innovation and risk-taking are core values of HBC, we wanted to explore ambitious and trailblazing endeavors. So this led us to come up with the idea of partnering up with Polyvore, a website that allows users to create outfits using clothes taken from online stores. And also users are able to share these outfits with each other, and if they see a piece of clothing that they like a lot, they can click on the piece of clothing and it'll take them directly to the company's website where they can purchase it online. So why should we do this? This is a huge opportunity because Polyvore plays a critical role in e-commerce and shaping consumer trends. And not only that, but the majority of the users that use Polyvore are North American, are young 18 to 28-year-olds who live in North America, which perfectly aligns with the target market for HBC. So a partnership with Polyvore will help promote HBC's luxury brands online and connect with consumers on a more broad level. And also, not only that, but it will keep HBC a step ahead of its competitors, as it will be able to keep up with the emerging trends that come from the younger population. So outside of the e-commerce domain, other suggestions that we have for using the rest of our budget for customer relationship development is to sponsor local fashion shows, sponsor local charity events, and other events such as the Pan Am Games and the Toronto International Film Festival, again to capture the interest of those individuals who tend to have a taste for higher-end goods. And all of these endeavors will help cement HBC's brand awareness and cultivate a strong and favorable PR standpoint, laying the perfect groundwork for the rollout of our luxury brand, Saks Fifth Avenue, next year. And I'm going to pass it on to Justin, who's going to be talking about the next part of the next segment where we want to spend our budget.
So the next area of development where we can use our budget is for research and development. So we're planning to use roughly around 30% of our budget, so approximately $10 million towards research and development. So how we're going to do this is because one of our core values is innovation, and this aligns perfectly with our University of Waterloo's ideas, and this is why we plan to host a hackathon. And this is where students can display their creativity and creations of technology and software. So we plan to focus these hackathons on software that improves business efficiencies and integrating technology in the retail industry. And by doing this would benefit HBC because we would gain new ideas, you would get fresh insight as well as different perspectives, and this would help us keep us more efficient, more up to date, and put us one step ahead of our competitors. As well, with the recent investment in technology, such as the Beacon platform, we will have we have yielded a return on investments of over 10%, and which was above expectations. And if we continue to use technology, we can achieve even greater growth. As well, this hackathon will be an integral step in unlocking the full potential of the power of technology can bring to our company. And finally, I'm going to bring it back to Michelle to talk about the next budget.
Okay, thank you, Justin. So for the remaining part of our budget, which is 10%, we chose to bring it back to HBC where it all began. So we decided to allot 10% to investment in human capital. So because another HBC value is continuous growth, we wanted to keep cultivating that culture and to keep developing that envelope-pushing, risk-taking, and challenging environment that defines who we are. So in order to achieve this, we decided to invest in training and resources and also talent acquisition. So training and resources would be investments in our current employees and to make them develop their skills and to encourage them to be better than they currently are. And the investment in talent acquisition would be important too because we're bringing in the best and brightest professionals in our industry to come to play for our team. And those two core actions combined together will create a thriving but dynamic workplace that encourages continuous personal growth. And as our employees are growing, HBC as a whole, as a company, we are growing too. And investment in our culture, in team building and addressing issues of alienation and mixing of teams will help us grow continuously as a team. Thank you, and I'm going to pass it on to Sue, who's going to wrap up our presentation.
So we've talked about basically last year's breakdown of our 2014 expenses, the SWOT analysis, so the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, as well as what we're going to do with our 2015 budget. So HBC, it's the oldest retail company in Canada. It's known for taking risks and encouraging growth. Ever since 1860, HBC is well known for making the right decisions and creating Canada into a good image that we all look for, whether it's taking risks or loyalty or caring about each other. HBC is something that all of us Canadians can relate to, and it basically shows an image of loyalty. From the very beginning, HBC has been taking the right path and making decisions, and we hope that through this explanation of our expenditure and our budget, we hope that we can take HBC to the right path. And basically, as Waterloo students, as co-op students, we value innovation. Similar to our motto of ideas start here, we hope to combine innovation and traditions together. And we hope that you can join us in pushing the envelope towards success. Thank you.